Hey folks, welcome to the channel. I'm going to try and record this fairly fast because my headphones are dying and this is my last opportunity before I head out to the beach tomorrow. So today we're just going to talk about the June setup in the Budget by Paycheck Workbook. I've not had an opportunity to make that recording just from all the prep and trying to wrap up multiple projects at work. So it's just been that kind of week. So let's just grab our glasses and get right to it. All right. June is going to be a pretty busy month, as I've mentioned before. I've got vacation, which we are leaving tomorrow, and then I'm also going to be out of town for the good part of 2 weeks after that, later in this month. So I have those trips. The trip to Las Vegas, while I will have to put some expenses on my card, I will ultimately get reimbursed for them. I'm not sure how I'm going to handle putting them in my budget because I've already incurred expenses for the trip that are on my credit card, but I'm just not sure how to put it in there. Because I'm not going to get paid the reimbursement until after the amount is due. So, well, I'll just have to, just kind of wing it there. Maybe make a special budget item for it. I kind of put it in a special budget item, but I'm just not sure how to track all that. I had Max last month, which I canceled. I just had it for 1 month, and that'll be done on the 19th, or excuse me, on the 18th, it'll end. I have an expectation that I'll be getting a bonus on the 16th. My supervisor is unable to talk about any types of bonuses or raises until the 18th, which is after when I'll already know about it, so I couldn't confirm it. But based on what I have read from the governor's office, that has been approved, and I should receive a bonus paycheck. It's, I think, a 3% bonus on the 16th. That's what I'm reading. I have that in here in the second month, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. I would have Amazon Music coming due this month, but I chose not to re-up it. I may ultimately go back to that. And even though it's $100 and I'm pretty sure it's $170, which is a little costly, I'm realizing I actually use the music. Let me just see. I think I erased it because it was on. Yeah, it's $169. I actually use it a lot in my kitchen, either with the boys, just to have a random dance party, or while I'm making dinner or something, I'll put on some music. And if it's not in my if I don't own the album or it's not in my library already, then I think what will happen is they might give you 1 or 2 songs a day, but they're not going to just keep playing the songs that you want. So depending on how that goes, I may decide to re-up that at some point, but I'll just have to play it, see how it goes, without it for a little while. I have a podiatrist appointment later this month, but that's not going to be real costly, and I do have a healthcare sinking fund, so I will use that money from there. Here is the first paycheck. I expect my normal payroll. I will receive a raise, but the effective date as far as the first paycheck that will have the raise in it, well, I think be July 1st. So I don't anticipate, but I could be wrong. I don't anticipate that any of my paychecks will change before then. I know that the pay increase effective date is supposed to be the 10th, but from what I understand, it will begin showing up on the July 1 paycheck. Again, this is all me just researching, trying to figure out what all this is, because you can't get information directly from your supervisor until well after you've already been informed through other means. I had a little bit going forward, and then I had anticipated using $500 out of the sinking funds in order to pay for a boarding for my 2 cats. But as it turns out, there's someone who can help me come by and feed them and empty out their litter box and stuff while I'm away. So I will not have to do that. And so I don't anticipate pulling this $500 out. I'll keep it in the sinking funds. The fixed expenses are going to be the normal fixed expenses. I don't have anything extra coming up this month that's not a part of the normal monthly bills. For the variable expenses, I'm increasing the food a little bit because we will be at the beach and I anticipate that we'll be spending a little bit extra money. So I am increasing the food budget just for the first 2 weeks, $100. Healthcare will be what I think it will be. It could be a little bit more. It has been historically every month more expensive than what I had accounted for. So I expect this will be more too. This was the $500 that I expected I was going to have to pay for the boarding, but again, that won't happen. So the pet care will be considerably less by at least $400. Or maybe $350, something like that. Transportation, I am anticipating spending a little extra money on gas to get to the beach to and from. So I've added that there. There is a miscellaneous, and I don't remember what this miscellaneous is going to be. There was something that was coming up, and I know what it was. It was for the trip. So I wasn't sure where to put that expense because I had to put a deposit down for the Vegas trip. And it's already been charged to my credit card, so I added it in as a miscellaneous. And when the reimbursement check for it comes in, I will, I guess what I might do instead is add an extra one and not put it in the miscellaneous. But I think I started off putting it in miscellaneous, but I may change that. This is the first time in this book that I've had a trip like that, so I'm going to have to feel it out a little bit. Don't plan on gifting anything. I don't, the travel's already paid for. I already have $500 set aside for the travel expenses, so I'm not expecting to spend more than that. So as far as gifting and travel goes, I don't expect to have anything there. If I buy anybody some souvenirs at the beach, I will just take it out of the $500. I have $50 coming out every first of the month to go into my savings account, and I just applied it this time to entertainment. And what I've been doing with this is just applying whatever that $50 is towards the most urgent expense that's coming up that comes from a sinking fund. And since I fully funded both healthcare and pet care, the next one that I know I have a bill coming due is entertainment, and that will be in August. And I think it's over $100, but less than $150. So I need to build this up a little bit for that particular expense coming up. Also, I had $557.75 in pet care, but I don't feel that there's a need to have more than $500 in the pet care sinking fund. So I moved $57.75 into the gifting sinking funds. And finally, when I did all of my calculations, I kind of thought I might be able to put $500 at the end of this pay period into the U.S. bank debt that I have, which I think will be fine. And since I started all this, I've actually incurred $360 or maybe a little bit less in expenses. So I've went ahead and paid those right away. It was just one of those things where I accidentally charged at BJ's, and then the travel to Las Vegas for business got charged there as well. So we'll look at that in just a minute. Here's my sinking funds. This is the beach, which I will spend this coming week. If I have a little bit of money left over, then I will put it back into the savings account and add it to travel for next year. For the next pay period, this is when I have an expectation that I'll have a bonus. I'm still not 100% sure, but I think that it will be coming in. I have decided that if that $1,700 comes in, I will apply it towards the emergency account, the emergency fund, if I haven't already finished paying off my U.S. bank debt. if there's a balance, which there might be $500 or $600, I'll go ahead and pay that off first, and then whatever's left over, I will apply towards the emergency fund, um, sinking fund. So that's how I'm going to use that bonus, is to, if it's not already done, finish paying off the U.S. bank debt, and then anything remaining will go into the emergency funds. All of the fixed expenses are the normal fixed expenses that I have every month, and they are just listed here. There's nothing atypical here. It's pretty much the same things I've had month over month. Food, healthcare, pet care, transportation, miscellaneous, and gifting are all here. I had thought that I would need gas after I came back from the beach, but as it turns out, I needed gas before going to the beach. So this $30 is actually, I won't need to buy gas at the end of the month. I had to buy it at the beginning, so that kind of shifted a little bit. I just added a gifting because I just keep buying people gifts, so I just thought I'd put that in there as a, it's possible that I'll spend this money, but if I don't, it's okay. This is where I'm saying I will put roughly the bonus, whatever amount that's left over, into the emergency fund sinking fund. And as far as any of the other sinking funds, if I have additional funds, I would like to continue to build up the entertainment and then also start adding to some of these other. I don't have to build the entertainment all the way up to $1,400 right away. I think I need 130 right away, or like until, or well, okay, not right away. I need 130 roughly in August. So if I could just build up a little bit and then start contributing to some of these others, that would be great. And since I have a feeling that I will be done with the U.S. bank debt by the end of this month, then I'll be able to build those up a little bit better in the months that are coming up. So far, here's what's going on in checking. I started off with $2,700. I'm now down to $800 because I've had quite a few expenses coming up. Just little things that, are the normal. So this is sort of like a June setup and check-in. So see, yeah, it's like gas, and I had some things. I picked up a few things from the for the beach, mainly for the boys, and I put them in household because they're household items, stuff to have in the pool, stuff to take to the beach. So I consider those kind of household items. I also needed to go and get some things for the pets. I needed some litter and some dry food, and I couldn't order it from Chewy and have it here in time, so I just went ahead and went to PetSmart to get that because they have it. It's just a little bit more expensive. And then this is where I did the U.S. bank, and I accidentally charged some of these to my U.S. bank instead of my other card, totally by mistake. This is like one of those things where I have it on automatic send it to me, and I didn't realize it was going to that particular one, but that was not a big deal. But at BJ's, I scan all the stuff in my cart, and when I went to check out, I just forgot to click a different charge. And then this is where the work travel comes in. I'm not sure how I want to handle this because I do need to keep track of it. I know what, when I checked to see like what the per diem was going to be and how many days I was going to be staying, to figure out how much I could spend while I was there on food items. So typically what happens is they give you a per diem, and if you use the per diem, then you use it, right? But if let's just say you have $86 to spend in one day, and you use $50 of it. Well, they don't account for that $30. If you don't use it, you get that $30. It's just given to you. Um, but my understanding is Las Vegas is pretty expensive, and not all of my meals are covered through the event that I'm attending. So, I had to perform some calculations to figure out how much that I could actually spend while I'm down there, is with respect to food items. But as far as the hotel coverage goes, I've checked that out. The place I'm staying in is not go over the amount that they allow for, so that'll be covered. But it'll be on my card, and it's not going to be cheap. And I've had cases in the past where my bill has come due and I have still not received my reimbursement check. And typically it's been a user error where I have contacted the person processing the reimbursement and they've not done something. So, I've learned to really follow up on that. But this, since it's in already, I know this 168's I'm not gonna be reimbursed by the time this comes due. But again, I just need to keep track of it. Usually I just write it all on a piece of paper and then I kind of double check it when I get the check to make sure I'm not missing something, which they do sometimes miss things as well. This is the savings account, which the $50 that I put in there. Hold on, I missed a page. Oh yeah, here, look you guys, I finally put it back in here, emergency funds. It's gonna go in there. We're gonna add some money in that this month. So the U.S. Bank is at $1,600. If I put $500 out of the first paycheck, that's $900 left. So typically, I think the most that I can put in is about $700 a month in the pay period. So there may be a couple $100 out of the bonus that will go towards the U.S. bank debt before it goes into the emergency fund. But still, the initial amount that I wanted for my emergency fund, by the way, let me go back to like my goals. Bear with me while I go find it. Here we go. So the financial plan. So if we look at this, we say we wanted the 1K emergency fund, but then within 5 years, I want an additional, I really want to have $10,000, right? And that's not even I don't even think that would cover everything I would need in an emergency. There's also, I think I need to have a larger homeowner fund than what I was originally thinking, and I'm going to adjust that too, because the reason I'm in the U.S. bank debt that I'm in now is because I had a homeowner urgent issue that came up that I was not prepared for, and that was roughly $10,000. So, the other things that I've had to do that were kind of on the fly for my home have been almost $10,000, anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000, and I need just a homeowner fund that can cover those types of expenses. So that'll be in addition to the emergency fund. This is for, I get laid off, I get in an injury, and I can't work, or I injure someone else and something happens and I need to pay something out of pocket, those type of things. So that's what that's for. So that's kind of where I'm headed, in which case, I'll be able to cross this off my list before I think that I can, I was thinking I could have $1,000 in emergency funds by December, and I think I'll be able to cover that pretty quick. So let's go back here. I do not have the U.S. bank bill yet. It doesn't come in for a while, so I don't have anything on that. I did fill this out, and this is where I was showing here. So I was thinking I was going to be able to put $1,100 this month into the debt. And as we can see, the debt was $1,600. So that left the debt was $1,600. So if I only put 1100, I'd still have a variance there that I would have to cover through the bonus check that I anticipate receiving. So this is just kind of a guesstimate of what I need to, um, how my expenses are going to be coming up and like my income. And that's kind of what I see as happening. I think this will be pretty close. It was pretty close last month too. Um, and I decided I'm just not doing this one that calculates how much is left in my budget for the month between paychecks. I found I wasn't really using it in any um, way that was meaningful or helpful. So that is it, guys. I know it's late, but it's just been that kind of a week preparing. So I again mentioned I know I won't be putting a video out on the 21st. I normally try and put things out on Saturdays, but I know I won't be doing that. It will be, so it'll be this Saturday, sorry. It's completely unlikely that I'm going to do anything on Sunday. We'll be driving back. It'll be late. I just do not anticipate doing that then. However, there's a slim possibility I'll do it on this, particularly if I get that bonus. Bringing that in, and then going over what is maybe remaining on my $500. It's actually $480 at this point because I've already spent part of it. Um, yeah, I might just a recap of what I spent on vacation and how much was left over and whether or not I got that bonus. So maybe within these couple days, just a report to see how that's all panned out. We'll see. And by then, I also should know whether I get the pay raise that I'm expecting. So all of that should be happening soon.